Well, primary season is ramping up, and next Tuesday, Republican voters will have a whopping 19 gubernatorial candidates to choose from in the state of Oregon. Meanwhile, the current governor there, Kate Brown, is facing scrutiny on the national stage. She recently signed the Menstrual Dignity Act, which will require public schools to provide feminine products along with instructions on how to use them in all K through 12 bathrooms. That's including boys' bathrooms. So what can Republicans running in the state do to put a halt to the woke agenda? Joining us now is Republican gubernatorial candidate Kerry McQuisten. Kerry, welcome to the show. So the Department of Education says that instructions on how to use tampons and pads will be posted in all these bathrooms, and as I mentioned, including boys. I mean, how are parents taking this? Because you have a first, a second grader reading how to use a tampon.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So in Oregon, we could be focusing on actual problems with our education system. We could be looking at critical race theory and our plummeting graduation rates and our abysmal testing scores and the obscene amount of money that we're tossing at this system that's broken. But instead, the Democrats want to talk about putting tampons in the boys' restroom. I mean, everything's completely upside down here.
I mean, are parents worried about their students, I would say specifically their female students, being harassed about being a girl, about your time of the month? Now, I mean, what first or second grader, what kindergartner knows what a time of the month is?
They are. I mean, parents all over the state are up in arms about this because it's absolutely ridiculous. But, more what it does is it continues to erode things that should be handled within the family unit. And it also erodes people's individuality and their fight for their individual rights. And it's pulling boys and girls together into this sort of hive mentality that fits into this indoctrination system in our Oregon school system. So it's completely wrong.
It's unbelievable. And when you think about it, I mean, to start in K-12, no girl has their period when they are that old. I mean, most average start around 12, which would be around 7th grade. So they are way off on their timing on this, to say the least. But do you know how much taxpayer money is being spent to put these products in schools?
I don't even have an estimate of that at this point, and I doubt the state does either, to tell you the truth. I have a 10-year-old daughter, and she saw that come through the news and said, what are they going to do with them? I mean, even a 10-year-old gets that something is really flawed with this logic, but our legislators and our governor at present don't.
I mean, how much of an issue is this on the campaign trail? Do you hear parents talking about this, or are they worried about other things, about the economy, or is this a key issue?
This is just another blip on the radar. So in Oregon, we're going through 40 years of Democrat rule, which is destroying our state. And that's what I'm standing up to fight against. We have a crime culture that's been pushed out all over the state of Oregon right now, and we've become a national joke because of it. We have abysmal land management that's creating these catastrophic wildfires. We have a poor school system. It's almost the bottom of the country when we're spending the most. Almost no mental health services in the state compared to what we need. I could go on and on listing issue after issue, and these are serious issues that are damaging our state. But again, the Democrats are focused on tampons in the boys' room. So, yeah, this woke agenda we have going here is destroying Oregon. And we have to have a grassroots conservative governor step up and take this role and flip Oregon back around.
And my team is telling me that around $5 million has been allocated to educate boys on how to use tampons. I will say, as you're mentioning, Oregon is a very blue state. You haven't had a Republican governor there in 40 years, and Biden won the state by 15 points in 2020. So even if you do beat these 18 other Republicans and win the primary next week, will you have enough support to win the general in November? How are you planning on gaining that?
Yes, and absolutely, because this is an incredibly different election. And I'll tell you why here. Because first off, the Kate Brown administration is so vastly unpopular in all corners of the state. That's going to be to their detriment. Second, we have a splitter candidate coming in, which is not something we have ever had, I think, in the general election. And all polls show that this individual splits off 2-1, the Democrats from the Republicans. And then there's the third element of that is the kind of candidate that I am. We don't typically have candidates from the eastern side of our state, which means that rural Oregon tends to feel left out in the elections. Then voter apathy kicks in and they don't turn in their ballots. This time they absolutely will, because I can pull together urban and rural conservatives. We're looking at 75,000 Republican ballots just in my congressional district that are usually not turned in because people don't want the same kind of Republican going through. So those three things combined mean that's pretty optimistic for Oregon.
All right, Kerry McQuisten, good luck on the campaign trail. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.